And we are live on YouTube. I'm back with a stream, and I'm joined by a very, very special guest all the way from the other side of the world. Old School Gunner, how you doing, mate?
I'm very, very good. Thank you very much, Alex. I'd just like to say thank you very much for having me on your show.
You're welcome, man.
I appreciate it. I've been looking forward to this for a long, long time. Get into it, and let's talk a little bit of football.
And before we get into it, let me just do
FC, guys. Arteta FC. You know what I mean?
Let's just do a little introduction, and then we'll get into it. Here we go. There we go.
Okay.
That's me. So this is Old School Gunner. Am I allowed to say where you are at the moment?
Absolutely, man. No problem. Yeah. I have no problem.
Yeah. So he's all the way from South America. So representing Arsenal in Venezuela. How's life as an Arsenal fan over there?
Life as an Arsenal fan is okay. I don't see many Arsenal fans. I'm in the capital city, guys. I'm in the city of Caracas. I don't see many Arsenal fans. I see them one or two United fans, and I resisted the temptation to, have discussion. I don't like seeing United fans around. But yeah, life in Venezuela is it is what it is at the moment. The weather's been fantastic over the weekend. I visited my father-in-law. We had a good time. Caught the sunrise over the city. And I'm here now. I'm looking forward to talking some football with Arsenal, Alex.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time. I know there it's earlier in the morning. Was it 8, 9 o'clock, something like that?
It's 8 in the morning. I've been up since 6:30, so it's all right.
All right. You're an early bird. So, man, it's that silly time of the season. We're linked with absolutely everyone. Want to get your opinion on that and how you're feeling about who we've signed, who we're going to sign, and what you're feeling about that.
Let's get into it. Well, obviously, the signing of Nuno Tavares from Benfica. I'm absolutely delighted with that signing, guys. It's a positive thing.
Why is that? What's that? Why do you like him? What do you like about him?
To be honest, he had a very good Champions League last time out for Benfica. He was very good in the Champions League for Benfica. They were up against quality sides. He is a player, I don't know, did you see the Glasgow Rangers game? But his finish, he's actually a lot stronger than I thought he was. He is a real handful. He's 6 foot tall. He's built like the tank, guys. I don't know.
He looks the part.
Very powerful. Quick feet, quick acceleration. The chance he got against Rangers, he literally took it on, guys. One touch, and he banged it in. And that's all it was about.
It's a great goal, but do you know what? I was speaking to a Benfica YouTuber, and he said one word, good riddance to me. So I've heard... So I like... I was just trying to get his opinion, and he said... I'm so glad he's going because his attitude stinks. Yeah. He's disrespected the shirt, and he just he's just like bye, and I was like, really? I was like, okay, mate. Okay. So we haven't seen that yet. It's early days, but that performance against Rangers.
Listen, it's sour grapes, I think, from the Benfica fans, if you ask me. That could be a little bit of sour grapes, Alex. That's my opinion. I'm delighted with the signing. Of course, it's early doors. We have to see how it goes. But the guy is quick, the guy is nimble, and the guy's young. He's young and fit, and he's injury-free. That's Tavares. I'm happy with that. But the big one for me, guys...
Let me just share this to you guys. 1 second. Yeah. I'm going to share... Here we go. Yes. There we go. Let's talk about this man.
Yeah, Ben White.
Ben White, yeah. I don't know, again, you give me your opinion and then I'll sort of...
Okay. He's a top-class player.
Yeah.
The price is maybe more than what we wanted to spend.
Yeah.
Today's, I think, okay, we're not Manchester City, we're not Chelsea, but I think in today's modern games, sometimes they have to stump up and pay the required price. Like I said, it's probably a little bit more than what we wanted to pay, but this guy is quality through and through. And in his position last season, I checked the stats, guys, Opta stats, check it out for yourselves.
Yeah.
He was the most, how do you say it? He had the best ratings, guys, of any player in his position for tackles, interceptions, and for passes forward. He gets the ball, guys, he moves forward, and he set up attacks. He had a lot of assists, guys, more than any other player in his position of any team last season. He was number one, guys. And for passes and assists, he was head and shoulders above the rest. He's a serious player. I was so excited when we signed the player. I'm really looking
he's not in the shirt. Yeah, he's not in and out. Well, it's he's on holiday and enjoying his life. Obviously,
he needs to do the medical when he comes back.
I mean, I was speaking to a Leeds fan because I believe he was playing for Leeds, and he said, "Yeah," and he said, "You're going to get an absolute top player." But for me, getting Ben White, what does this mean for William Saliba, who's gone to Marseille? Like,
yeah.
And where are we going to play him? Like, what's he going to be? Is he going to be? Because we haven't really been linked with any right backs. Is he going to be that right back? I mean, that's the question. I mean, where would you see him slotting?
I think he can play across the line. He can play left back, right back. He can play both centre back positions, left or right. A bit like Nuno Tavares.
Yeah.
Also switch for us. Tavares can also play as a winger, a little bit forward, and also into the defensive positions, left wing back, right wing back. I honestly think he can, a player of his ability, I would put him in centre of defence.
Yeah, me as well.
I would put him in the centre of defence. All this talk about holding, this, that, and the other. Like we can switch a couple of guys across. Hector Bellerin, I know he's a right back. I don't see him having a future at the club, and I'm going to speak honestly, guys. I respect Arsenal's opinions, every donor, but I don't rate Bellerin at all. I don't rate that. I don't rate William, and I'm 100%, guys, Arteta out. Going a little bit off days, but we definitely lay it all on the line, guys. I've had some comments on my social media, people being abusive towards me. I don't care.
I agree, mate. I'm Arteta out. We even got the job, so I totally agree, mate. That's where I agree. Good afternoon, the assembled. Welcome to the chat. Good afternoon, Alex. Old school.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry. And Drawn by Dre. Hello, lads. It's going to be a good stream.
Nice to see you, Drawn by Dre.
He looks capable of playing midfield. I mean, yeah, he looks very versatile. He looks like
he's young and he's in good physical condition, Alex. I know that sounds funny, but he's not had any serious injuries. The guy is physically fit. He got called up to the England squad. Gareth Southgate called him up. He could have easily played in the tournament. I mean, the guy's got ability. And Southgate rates him very highly. He's just starting to bring him into the England setup now, but Gareth Southgate rates this guy very highly.
Yeah.
Like, put him in the squad. To make the squad, England have a wealth of players. I mean, it's not like they're stuck for a couple of defenders. For him to make the squad, he outperformed all of them last season in the Premier League. John Stones, Harry Maguire, all of these guys, his stats were way above theirs. So there you go. But when you're
you sound so positive as an Arsenal fan. I mean, it's a it is. I mean, you're giving our Edu the benefit of the doubt here, I think, right?
Edu, not a fan of Edu's.
No, but
came in at 10 by 2 yes men, Muppets.
Yeah, I agree, and I think him and Gabriel But the thing is, we need to sign a right back, we saw Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Does he have a future as a right back at Arsenal?
He definitely has a future when you've got the likes of Bellerin there.
Is he in the plan? Because
I would play Maitland-Niles absolutely without doubt. I don't know which way Arteta is looking. I don't even think he's looking at the field sometimes during the games. Maitland-Niles is a keeper. I would definitely have him.
100%. I would play him at right back.
Bellerin is a nothing player. Bellerin wants away, so let him go up.
Yeah, man.
Him and Xhaka, nothing players. Willian, another Chelsea reject. You know what I mean?
If we're talking about bad players, what's wind me up? Granit Xhaka is still here. He's still not a Roma player.
Man.
You know what I mean?
What is the problem there? I mean, he had an okay Euros for Switzerland, fair enough. But I mean, anyone would look good in their midfield. Then he's still hanging around at the club. His performances for us have been absolutely shocking, and his attitude towards the fans, his attitude in general. But his performances, man, he's so lackadaisical in the midfield. He's so careless at times, and he can't turn to save his life. I mean, if he had to turn, run back and make it a saving tackle, all he knows how to do is pick up a red card or a yellow card. So he doesn't actually do a tackle.
Good riddance to Granit Xhaka.
I don't like that player at all. I never liked him.
I agree, mate.
Personally, I don't care about him as a person. It's his performances for Arsenal is what concerns me. He's nowhere near the level we need, and I'm not being arrogant.
No, you're right.
He doesn't give his heart and his soul out there. We need guys that are willing to die for the crest. They don't. Like, I was talking to Northside London. I don't know, did you see that? He guested on my fan cam. Like,
yeah, I saw that.
Dinamo Zagreb, they had a problem like that with the whole squad. Like, Arsenal fans were very accepting of things like this. Very accepting. We're the best fans in the world, in my opinion. But we're very accepting of things like this. When there was a problem like that at Dinamo, the fans, like 50 of them, went to the training ground and they took the jerseys and they took the shorts off the Dinamo players because they did not deserve to wear the colours of Dinamo Zagreb.
Well, the 99% of the Arsenal players don't deserve to wear the Arsenal shirt.
In there, man, and I don't know what's going on. Like, Willian, why do you keep picking up these Chelsea players? Okay, David Luiz, he wasn't so bad at times. Willian is awful. Now we're looking at Tammy Abraham. We give him Giroud.
So let's get into that line.
Giroud, and he's top form. We give Giroud. Okay, he's leaving. He's gone from Chelsea now. But we gave him Giroud. We give our best players. Remember Van Persie to United? We gave our best players, and we take like the leftovers. With respects to Peter Cech, with respects to David Luiz, I respect those two. But the others, man, nothing. And Xhaka, he's at Arsenal because he can't go anywhere else. Maybe Roma want him, maybe they don't. In his mind, he's completely deluded. He's not that good. He was at Basel. I was living in Switzerland for 10 years. The best friend of mine, he is a Basel fan.
Okay.
He was at Basel. His brother, Poland Xhaka, they're both Albanian. He plays professionally for FC Basel. That's where Xhaka started. That's his level, Alex. And I respect everyone's opinion. Even my buddy thinks he's a great player. But we disagree about that all the time. Basel is his level, man. Swiss League.
I think, to be honest, you're being generous.
Hertha Berlin. That's his level. You know what I mean? Arsenal.
Well, you're being generous there. You're being generous.
I'm being generous.
I think lower than that, mate. He's awful. He's crap. He can't pass. He can't shoot. He gives away fouls. He just doesn't. Yeah, out. Granit Xhaka out.
Then he hits one goal in 10 games, and people are like, "Oh yeah,
one goal in 20, more like it." Xhaka, boom.
Crap. Rubbish. Compare him to Roy Keane, man. And I don't like to talk about United players. Okay, Keane is Irish. I can talk about him. Compare him to Vieira. Compare him to Frank Lampard. Compare him to Steven Gerrard. You know what I mean? I'm just saying now, Premier League players.
Yeah.
Across the board. Compare him to them. He doesn't hold a candle to Frank Lampard, man. To Patrick Vieira. Come on, like it's all about levels. And
so if he and when he does sign for Roma, is the James Maddison, Lokonga, are they going to be the sort of players to jump in his place? I mean, I'm confused. I don't know what you've sort of made about where we're going with the midfield sort of transfer, because that is the problem area, mate. The midfield.
We have Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened to him.
Yeah.
There was a lot said about him. He was much fated. Guy said he's this, he's that, he's the other. Partey himself, I don't know what the story is with him, because in the Europa League, in the games against Villarreal, he was a passenger. That's what I'm going to talk about later if we have time to talk about Mikel Arteta. I'll talk about that later. We can talk about that later. But the Arsenal field crisis, man, I honestly like Forsberg. I like the Swedish player Forsberg, and I'm a big fan of Jack Grealish and Grealish's Premier League experience.
We got no chance. No chance. No chance. I think if he played regularly for England, we would have won the Euros, in my opinion. But anyway, it's not a Euro show. But let's just stop this.
He could on their game, but he could definitely cause Italy problems. You see what he did against the Germans.
Yeah. Guys, just to let you know, 1 second. Like, if you please, Old School Gunners link is in the title. You can subscribe while you're watching the stream. Go and click it and just click subscribe. Loads of great content, giving his opinion. So he is there. And also subscribe to my channel as well. Hit that like button as well. And keep watching and keep commenting. And yes, so let's carry on. But yeah, I just want to give you a nice big plug there.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Like I said, we're both long-time Gunners.
Me since 89.
Yeah, I've supported the club since 1993.
You've seen the good times.
I've seen the good times and the bad times. And recently, you know, I'm a positive person. But I'll say to the fans now, this is all I'm going to say. I love the club. I'm not going to stop crying about it, guys, don't worry. But I love the club. And for me, the most important thing is the club, the name of the club, the fans. It's not Mikel Arteta. It's not Granny Xhaka's blonde hair. It's the club. You know what I mean? The most important thing for me is the club, guys.
Well,
that's what it's about it. And the fans, to me, we have some of the best fans in the world. They deserve better. I'm not expecting us to win the league every season, guys, but we have gone so far behind the others. We're on a continuous, perpetual slide towards absolute mediocrity.
Yeah.
Last season, at one stage, guys, we were in 17th place around Christmas time. 17th position.
And his job wasn't even under threat.
Come on, and it's because of this indecisiveness with the transfers. That's what I'm going to link into, guys.
Yeah.
Me and Alex, right? We're not professional football managers, but trust me, guys, we got together before the season ends, before the Euros. I already have a short list of 10 players I'm looking at, guys. What do you think? I'm going to wait till the season to end. I've got nothing to do, and then I'm going to look at what players I want. I would know a month before the season ends, even further, what players I want to look at and what positions need to be strengthened. But there's this kind of malaise. There's this kind of, they're just not doing that. I mean, it should be, we don't react. We don't have things in order with the transfers.
We haven't sold anyone. We haven't sold anyone.
Last minute reaction, and we have a lot of deadwood in between. We have a lot of players that are good.
Mate, can I be honest, even if we sign Ben White, Lokonga, Maddison, Jay, that for me, I really don't care, because that doesn't solve the problem. The problem is the players that are there. That is the problem. A lot of them need to be. And also on top of that, let's talk about it. Let me just do these comments and let's talk about Mikel Arteta, because that man makes my blood boil. I absolutely can't stand him. I can't stand him. But let me just read some comments. Can Ainsley Maitland-Niles play goalkeeper? He has got 2 hands. He can't be much worse than Leno. That's a good one, mate. I like that.
I like Leno. I think he's all right.
Yeah. Arsenal Vlogs. How you doing, mate? Luca, hope you're doing well. I'm good. Arteta out. Yep, he's big Arteta out. Tammy Abraham, what is that about? Signing him will undo anything Arteta has done. If he signs for Arsenal, sack Arteta immediately.
Useless player.
Good to see you coming on board. Well, yes. Grealish isn't defence savvy. That's the weakness in this game. But do you know what, mate? I don't care if he's that. His aim is just go forward.
We can have one holding player, and we can have him in the free role. We give him a license.
Tammy, not for me. Quick, 2 injury prone. Another Chelsea reject. And not for me. Sorry. Yeah, I totally agree. Only to, well, that's it. It is what it is. People will watch later, mate. So, but Arteta. I mean, when I saw the Hibernian game, and what do you expect? Losing 2-1 to Hibernian, I'm not even surprised, mate. I know it's a meaningless friendly, but I'm not even surprised, mate.
But you've got to put it into perspective, in my opinion. Like say, meaningless friendly. It is that, and it is a meaningless friendly. But I mean to say, we've had a lot of games like that in the Premier League, and they weren't meaningless at all. And it was the same kind of, I don't know, like Arteta when he's on the sideline, regardless of the team he picks, he's the manager. The buck stops him. I don't care what anyone does. You know what I mean? He picks the team. He picks the subs. He picks the formation. It's his team. But when they're playing, he's very passive on the sidelines. I mean, it's a friend too. But in the league, we have to play Brentford. Then we have to play Chelsea at home.
Yeah.
Then we're away to City. I honestly think the Brentford game is going to be a hard game too. So we can't take anything for granted. But when Arteta is on the sidelines, he's very passive. I mean to say, I'm not going to compare him to Jurgen Klopp because the differences between them as managers, you know, Klopp is a much better manager, of course. But it's the way Klopp reacts when things aren't going well I'm going to talk about. Compared to Arteta, he's very passive on the sideline.
Yeah.
What worries me, and I can talk about it now maybe, is the Europa League semi-final. The Europa League semi-final second leg. We had Villarreal at the Emirates. We were still in the tie at half-time. We were in the tie. Okay, they're a physical side. There's a lot of men on their team. These guys are not kids. They're seasoned pros, seasoned professionals. They had a game plan. Emery set them up. They did the business. But at half-time, what did Arteta say to the players? Because the shift they put in the second half, I mean, I'm not going to say about Saka, and I'm not going to say about Emile Smith-Rowe, but the more experienced players, they needed to show the older players. What was he saying at half-time?
Yeah. Does that game wind you up more than any of last season then?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It was, and not because we had a chance to get to the final, and not because I wanted us covered in glory. That's the last thing we would be if we won the Europa League, covered in glory. It's not the Champions League. But the performances in those two games, particularly in the second half, I was at work in London with a Chelsea fan watching the game, yeah. So I was watching it with a Chelsea fan. Of course, they did their business in the Champions League, but he was looking at it and he was like, he was being friendly. Dave, the team, man, the attitude and the way they're moving. It's like they were so, okay, Villarreal had us. They had us. They had a game plan and they were very disciplined.
And it worked.
And it worked. But what did Arteta say to the team at halftime? I mean,
he just did this. He just stroked his chin, mate.
We were up against it.
He did.
We were up against it. They had us. And we knew they had us. And they knew we had us. Like, they looked at our players and they knew. And our players were looking at the ground. Arteta needs to motivate these guys. I'm not going to talk about the young players. I'm not going to talk about Emile Smith-Rowe because they have been fantastic for us. But the more experienced players, they had a role to play too in that game. There was no fight. It was soulless. It was spiritless. They had absolutely no ideas, no invention, and everything was played slowly. Okay, they played such a defensive formation. It was hard. But get the ball wide at every opportunity. And when you have a shot at goal, 1-2, take it back and have a crack. But get the ball wide. We didn't get the ball into the areas where we could hurt them, or we could stretch them. You know what I mean? We were playing too narrow. We were playing up the centre. And Arteta standing there the whole time watching that. He saw what was happening. I could see it. We had to immediately make a sub, immediately change things.
It was like 85 minutes. He did it the last few minutes, didn't he?
After 15 minutes, man, you could see the way it was working out. And they were getting on top. And then they were getting fouled as they were coming out. And Arsenal got frustrated. We started shooting from 30 yards out. Everybody was doing a Xhaka on it. Everybody was behaving like Xhaka. Pointless. I mean, and the players lost their way. Arteta's the manager. What did he say? I'm telling you, right? I'm not joking, no. If I was managing the team at a half-time when we came back out for that game, we would have taken the door off the dressing room. There would have been, guys would have been up for it. We might have lost, but I would have had the team right on the edge of what's acceptable. We would have played with everything, man.
Exactly.
We would have played physically. We would have had combination. They would have been in a game. They would have known they were in a game. Instead, we just kind of meandered down, you know, fucking driving Miss Daisy kind of thing, man. He didn't motivate anybody in that game. It was shocking. Watch that game again, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I will never forget that game. It was just soulless performance. And he was just bapping about. What was he doing? You've got to motivate the guys. The younger players, like I said, I don't want to repeat myself. I'm not going to be too critical of them because they have carried us when we've been very low.
I think you've touched on a really good point, mate. That's what's the worst thing. The young players carried us last season. They are the reason we finished 8th. They are the reason. If it wasn't for them, we probably would have finished 14th or 15th, mate.
Lacazette wasn't at it. Pepe touching the ball. The money we paid for Pepe, look, I'm not going to single out individual players. All of these guys are superstars compared
Pepe
to
for me. Oh man, I'm a big Pepe fan, massive, and Arteta. If that man had played every game this season, he'd have 25 goals. He's quality, mate. He is quality, and I think if he had the right manager, he could easily be one of the best players in the league. Pepe. I think he's phenomenal.
What does Martinelli have to do to get a game?
He loves killing youth. Arteta doesn't like youth. He just likes old Chelsea rejects, old Wenger players. He just doesn't like, he played the youth. It just fell in his lap. Smith Rowe fell in his lap. He didn't promote the youth. They just fell in his lap.
Yeah. The thing as well that I have a problem with is like Martinelli. But look, man, Arteta. I mean, if you saw my live stream at Northside London, he made a very good point. I'm going to talk about that now, but it's directly related to Arteta. Compare him to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Compare him to Frank Lampard. Former players that went and managed the clubs. Okay, Lampard is no longer at Chelsea, but Ole is still at United. But these guys, Lampard and Ole, Solskjaer, are club legends. Club legends. Arteta is not an Arsenal club legend. No. All he did was be assistant to Pep at City. He doesn't have the experience. I mean, Patrick Vieira, who has taken over at Crystal Palace for the new season, he has more experience, in my opinion, with New York City FC than Mikel Arteta does. So when he get the job, look at Alex Ferguson. I hate Ferguson. Yeah, there's no manager I hate more than Alex Ferguson. I'm not going to say what he is, guys, but Ferguson had many assistant managers. They didn't become Man United manager, guys. They did not become, just because you're the assistant to Alex Ferguson, or you're the assistant to Pep Guardiola, or you're the assistant to Ancelotti. That does not mean that you can be the manager of a Premier League club.
And exactly. I don't blame Arteta for taking the job. I blame the people for hiring him.
Yeah. And he's a yes man, but Arteta's a yes man.
And that's perfect for them. That's perfect for the Cronkies, Edu, and all that. And I'm glad you agree with me that I'm not looking forward to the season, mate. Not at all. It doesn't matter who we sign.
I have a bad feeling. We were lucky to scrape into 8th place last season. We were very lucky to get into 8th position. We had a bad season, underperforming. But look, I'm not expecting us to win the league every year. But we're sliding. There's no improvement at all at any level. There's no improvement. And I am a very positive fan. I'm not looking for problems where there are none.
So look at it. Look at this. Yeah. The way things are, Bellerin, Willian and Xhaka will still be at Arsenal. And I have to agree. Like,
I'll be off to join Palace anyway. I'll be getting my Patrick Vieira jersey. I'll be supporting.
Do you know what? And also, what's Daniel Ek? If he's the Crystal Palace manager, is that all done and dusted? You know what I mean? Is that all done? Is that Daniel Ek? Has he gone away now that Vieira's?
That's an non-runner in my opinion. That's ancient history. Dead. That's dead. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen at all.
Yes, 100%, mate. Totally agree. DWTT. Hello, Alex, and old school gunner. How you doing, mate? Arsenal lost to Villarreal. Villarreal never beat us. That whole performance was like it was done on purpose, like the Europa final. That's a good point. Wenger got to tune out the players. Arteta has a better squad and doing worse. Hey, I'll be honest with you. If I knew this was all coming, I would have kept Wenger, and I wanted him out. If I knew all this, I don't know how you feel. What was your opinion of Wenger like? Was it his time to go, or do you think?
What was my opinion of Wenger? I think the first half of his reign at Arsenal was very, very good. He is the best manager we've ever had, and he deserved to leave the club with a modicum of respect. But the way he overstayed his welcome for the second half of his tenure at Arsenal FC, I think I'm very critical of him. Useless manager at the end. And look, not as bad as Arteta. Grand, fair enough. But Wenger's more manager, Arteta's more player. But all those Champions League annihilations over in Munich, that stuck in the throat a little bit because we were constantly regressing. And I will never forget the beatings we took against Bayern. I will never forget the hammerings. Even the one year it looked like we could get through. I think we were playing Strasbourg or Marseille. That was our best chance. It was 1 year that we missed one of the big teams, and they beat us 3-1 at the Emirates. I mean, I'm going back a bit now, but I like Wenger. He is our best manager of all time. He deserves to leave the club with respect. He deserves that. A statue, whatever you want to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but the way he held on to the job, bitterly holding on to it.
If I was on that money, I'd be holding on as well.
All those years, he caused this too, because it was like, you know what? He stayed too long. He outstayed his welcome. Then we got Emery. Then we got Arteta. It's like if he had left earlier, or at least planned and gave somebody the idea which coach can come in. I mean, he wasn't pivotal in that. It's like, you know what I mean? That's where it all started. That's where it all started.
For me, if he'd left like 2009-10, man, for me, he's a hero all day. But he stayed way, way too long. And
he had lost his technical nous. He had lost that edge. He had lost his energy. He didn't have the zest for the job. He didn't have and the younger managers were coming in and they were upstaging him. It was embarrassing, man. Okay, we got the fourth place trophy. As other fans are making fun of us about it. We got the fourth position. We got the 50 million from the Champions League qualification. But we were no more than that. I mean, we went into the Champions League and every season, apart from 2006, we got stuffed. I mean, we got stuffed. We went over to Munich and they just absolutely trashed us.
Yeah.
Oh, man, and the team. Mustafi, guys like that in the team.
Now, you started off this podcast or whatever you want to say, so positive about the signings, but now you've just realised that the problems are so big. I mean, what I know the Assembled is a big Arsene Wenger fan, so he says, in my opinion, I think he was undermined by our own board. I agree. He was a human shield. Yeah. When Wenger left, why didn't the board invest in the right manager?
Exactly.
We missed Pep. We missed Klopp. Maybe we could have got Ancelotti. Maybe we could have Allegri.
Martinez, the Belgian manager. What's wrong with him? You know what I mean? These guys are managers.
Exactly. Yes. And guys, if you haven't already done, hit that like button, subscribe to Old School Gunner. His link is in the title. Subscribe to me as well. That'd be absolutely brilliant. But yes, the new season. Let's talk about that. Like, are you nervous? Are you worried? I mean, because
I would not get our hopes up too soon about how the season is going to go. And we need to buy a striker. We have nobody in there with respects to Martinelli. And we have nobody in there that is actually, I mean a striker of the level of Didier Drogba. I'm talking about, in fairness to Giroud. Giroud was good when he was at the club. But we need a player that is going to frighten the defence. We have nobody terrifying him.
I know. Talking about strikers, we're trying to get rid of Lacazette. Nobody wants to buy him.
Wow, what a surprise.
I mean, yeah. I think I'm really worried as an Arsenal fan because I went to these protests, mate, and I saw the last one I saw fans just going normally into the ground. You know, when the Brighton game?
Yeah.
And they were sort of looking at us as though there's something wrong with us. And that is when I realised this is not the club I fell in love with. This is not the club reason I support, because a majority, I'd say that a lot, not majority, but a lot of Arsenal fans just accept this. And it's okay for them to be mid-table. It's okay to pay 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds worth for a ticket to watch some mediocre players maybe win a game of football. Play for and looking at the shirt you're wearing, I mean, that's, for now, the emblem, I call it the toy badge, because it's not even properly stitched in. It's just a brand, mate. I think at the end of the day, we are just a brand. We're just a commodity. We are just a business. We're not, you know. And I was getting excited by the Daniel Ek bid. I was thinking yes. My heart, I was thinking yes. And that's all gone south. And mate, I'm really worried as an Arsenal fan for the future. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk straight now. I'm not just going to say what you want to hear.
No, say what you say. You say how you want it.
I have the same opinion as you, but I'm not saying what the Arsenalist wants to hear, guys. I'm going to give my own opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody's, but I'm going to talk straight. Look, it's like this. The season is not going to be that good for us. I mean, our opponents in the Premier League, the other big teams, well, we're not a big team anymore, but the other teams, they have strengthened incredibly. And we're already behind them, guys. We're already playing catch up. Now that distance has grown again. To expect the team to compete with Manchester City, with the bigger teams, guys. I'm not going to go through the names of teams, you know who they are. But we're going to compete with them, and we're going to be competing with all those teams. You'll see at the start of the season what's going to happen, guys. You'll see the way it's going to go. And excuses will be made. Results won't be got. We'll be struggling a bit. You'll see how it's, and I'm 100% positive Arsenal fan. But with the team we have, guys, with the way Arteta sets them up and picks players, the squad is not so bad. But the way he picks his 11, you can't expect us to compete. I mean, we're not able to do it. He keeps persisting with paying the ball out from the back. Sometimes you can play it like that, but sometimes you got to hit it long. And we don't have the players on the ball to do that. We don't have the players that can actually play it out. I'm on about with full control, that can actually dictate play and play it into the midfield and look to set up attacks. Apart from Tierney, big up yourself, Tierney. He is one player that can do that. But one player in the defense, like play the ball out from the back. Yeah, that's grand, but sometimes you got to hit it long, man. Sometimes you got to just put it up for a throw-in. We're playing the ball in dangerous areas, and the midfielders are not at that level where they can take the ball on the go like that under pressure. I'm on about in the do or die games, guys. And to be honest, every team last season, they put it up to us. They know what to expect from us. I just wouldn't expect too much in the season. Let's see how it goes. Arteta is still the manager, guys. Let's not forget that. And he is completely aimless in his pursuit. His management style, I don't know what game he's looking at. I don't know what goes on in training. What the team do in training, I honestly don't know. Because when they go onto the pitch, it's like they respect to certain players that do the business, others don't. Don't get too worked up for the season, guys, because it's going to be a hard season for us. And we have not been active in the transfers, guys. The players have not been bought that we need, and it's concerning. I mean, Chelsea are light years ahead of us already. United are light years ahead of us. Liverpool are on a different planet. Spurs have a better team than us, guys, and they have for the last couple of years. We were just holding them off each year, luckily. They have been consistently getting better and better. And better. The way they run is far better than the way our clubs run.
Yeah.
That's the main difference. It's not all about money, guys, but the transfer situation, we're already playing catch-up. Now, United, like they're looking at, I think, is it United are looking at Varane.
Yeah.
Get him, guys. If they get him after getting Sancho, I fear for us. I mean, I really do. I don't know where the results are going to come from. I can't see where the goals are going to come from. I can't see where we're going to get the goals to win the games. Against Villarreal, we needed one. If we hit the net once, it would have been a different game, guys. They would have had to come out and open up. We needed to score one goal over that 90 minutes in London at the Emirates. We couldn't correct us. We needed one goal. I would have, I love the club. Alex loves the club too. I would have put my body on the line, guys. I wouldn't have been thinking about my Porsche. I wouldn't have been thinking about my condominium and my hot wife at home. You know what I mean? I would have put my heart and soul. I would have died out there for the club, guys. I'm not at the level to play for Arsenal, of course, but I'm just saying we needed one goal in that game, guys. One goal was all we needed.
How many players how many of those players actually love Arsenal? How many of those players actually love Arsenal that we
None of them. None of them.
Maybe maybe the young ones growing up, the Smith Rowe.
They give everything they have for the club. They give everything they have.
Yeah, look how they play.
Leave it all out there. You know what I mean? They leave it all out there. But my God, in that game we needed 1 goal, guys, and that's what I can't see for this season. Where are the goals going to come from?
Yeah.
I honestly can't see the chances being set up. I don't know how we're actually going to produce the chances and finish them. I just, it's like there's a blank there. I honestly can't see it. I don't know how we're going to do that. And we don't have an out-and-out killer striker in respects to Martinelli. Lacazette's not at it. Aubameyang on and off. Lacazette is very easy to get on top of. City, they have a field day against him. You know what I mean? He's very easy to control. I honestly can't see where we're going to get the goals. Where are the goals going to come from? I just can't see.
Well, we've got.
Thomas Partey is a concern.
You know, if you have a right manager, look at these strikers. Like, for me, if you have the correct manager, we would get the goals. But the way he's playing, we're not going to get them. You've got Balogun, Martinelli, Lacazette, Aubameyang, but they're just not. Where exactly? And
I'll address this point from the assembled. I respect his opinion. I respect your opinion, my friend, and thanks for commenting. But I honestly think like Martinelli is a good apprentice, and I respect that guy. He's a good player. I like him. Balogun, big up yourself. But we need a player that is more established, that is going to hit at least 20 goals a season, and like I mean regularly, at least 20. Now, guys, I'm not going above that. If we don't have that, Lacazette isn't going to do that. Aubameyang is not going to do that. I'm not going to talk about the 3 younger guys because I have respect for them. They give their all. They give everything they have out there. This is professional football, guys, at the highest level in the hardest league in the world. Those young players, they give everything they have. I will never criticize them. Even Nketiah's missed against Hibernian. But the more established players, they're not at it. We need a top striker. We need, I think, the Czech Republic player. Patrick. He knows where the goal is, Alex. You saw him, man. He knows 5 goals. He was joint top scorer with Ronaldo. Ronaldo won the trophy because he had more assists. Schick hit 5 goals. 5 goals.
It's amazing.
I think Patrick Schick, someone like that. He knows where the goal is, Alex.
What about this? Would you take Diego Costa on a free?
Absolutely not.
No.
Of course not.
But
Luis Suarez on a free.
Suarez, I mean,
I would take Suarez every day of the week.
Yeah, because
he plays with this. He plays with his heart.
And we haven't even seen Balogun. Yeah.
He plays on the edge of what's acceptable, but that's okay by me.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Sometimes he crosses the line, but he hasn't in a while. But at least he makes his impression felt. He puts pressure on the defense. They know he's there. They have to be careful. Our strikers, you know, we're not quite at it. Giroud was better than anything we have now. We let him go. Robin Van Persie, I'm going back a long time now, guys. We gave Van Persie to our biggest rivals and they won the league.
Exactly.
Before we like that in a long time, like Van Persie, we have had no one. And it's a concern. It's a concern, guys. We're not scoring enough goals. The team is not scoring enough goals. Look at the new season. You'll see it. We're not scoring enough goals. We struggle to get 2. That's not going to win you the game, guys. We get a 1-1. With 1 extra goal, we take a lot of extra points. We can't do it. We just can't. Man, I know, Alex. What do you think? I'm going around in circles.
No, it's all right. No, but before I'm going to have to wrap this up soon. But before we do, if you were to predict where would we finish the end of the season? If you're a betting man, I don't know if you are. Where would you say, come May, we're going to finish?
10th.
Wow, really? And do you see Arteta lasting this season?
I think he will last a couple of seasons because he's a yes man. He's a weasel. He's a twit. I'm going to keep it clean on. Arteta is a nothing manager, but he's a perfect puppet for the board. They can suck the money out of the club. They can have that loser in charge. He was a crap player. He's the worst manager. And I don't care what anyone thinks. They can talk to me off air about it if anyone has a problem with the comments. We can have to discuss it.
No, mate, you can say you're being too polite. Arteta is not a manager. That is it.
Bad player, worst manager. He's not a manager. Why did he get the job in the first place?
Yeah. So
before he's the manager role, or they should tell him to leave. A new manager comes in, he can say his assistant. If he doesn't accept it, show him the door. That's my opinion. The hell with him, man. This is what Arsenal football club is bigger than him.
Totally agree. I mean, thank you, mate. Do you want to tell me a bit about your channel? Yeah, just tell me a bit more about your channel, because I'm going to have to wrap it up.
My channel has been going since 2018.
Yeah.
I have roughly 1,100 subscribers. And I recently started an Arsenal fan camp. So I have another guy coming on tomorrow, Daniel Phillips, an American Gooner. He's going to be on my show tomorrow. And we're going to be doing a fan camp, 2nd edition. I also plan to have John by Dreon. Yourself, Alex, anytime you want. You're absolutely more than welcome. I appreciate you having me on your show. I appreciate it very much. I know you're a busy man. You're giving your time. We're both diehard Gooners. Tough time for Arsenal fans in the club, guys.
Tough times, man.
We have to remain some way positive. I'd like to finish and say, of course, you can see my channel name, guys. Old School Gunner. Subscribe if you want.
Yeah.
Like if you want. You know, take it easy, guys. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm here for the club.
We'll finish with this comment. 6 to 10, I agree with you, Old School Gunner, about Arteta. He's just had his knee pads reinforced, allegedly.
Yeah, I like my ex. A bit like my ex, guys. And I'm not going to say anymore because we keep. My ex used to wear knee pads. No. Yeah, I think that's Arteta out.
So yeah, and before you go, if you haven't done, hit the like button, subscribe to me as well, and if you want, you can, and also have a look at my membership. I've just updated that. If you want to become a member, guys, loads of great perks, custom-made emojis under your name, members-only streams. I want to be doing that, so have a little look. Click on whenever you want, and that'll be absolutely brilliant. Just to
support Alex's channel, guys, because this is the reason I'm doing this collaboration with him. I like his channel. I like the way he does things, and that's why I'm constantly saying, "Hey, come on, let's do a collab." Because I like his channel and I like the way he does things. And he's an Arsenal fan, guys. He cares about the club. That's why I'm here. It's not really for myself. It's because I like the way he does things and I respect him. I could collab with other people, but I like Danny. And I like John by Dre. And I always comment on them in my videos because they have good channels. Better than mine, if I'm to be fair.
No, different. Different. Everyone is themselves.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep smashing it, mate. All right.
I'm happy.
So, guys,
I'm stream after this on my channel. So anyone wants to tune into my channel, I'm starting a live stream. I'm going to be talking about all things.
What time is that?
What time is it? No,
your stream. What time will your stream be on?
Yeah, no, it's 9. I think 10 o'clock. So 3 p.m. guys. 3 p.m. British Standard Time.
Okay. So guys. Go and watch him at 3 if you're around. And guys, thank you so much for watching. You're all wonderful. You're all brilliant. Enjoy your day, wherever you are, wherever you're watching this on Catch Up. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, and evening. Any last words, Old School Gunner?
I'm going up to the pool and I'm going to enjoy the sun for like maybe 40 minutes.
Well, you got a pool.
So I won't be liberated though. I leave that at home.
Right. No wonder you.
45 minutes sunbathing, swimming, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to do my thing, guys. So there you go.
Well, I would stay there and don't come back to this country because that sounds like a better life.
I like the weather.
You enjoy, mate. And guys, thank you so much for watching. And I'll leave you with this.